Hello everyone, and welcome to Fableheim, and the return of the Supreme Necromancer Iratus, Lord of the Dead. We are finally live, finally out of early access. We are here, and our series begins. Now, originally my plan was to do this series in more pain, because we do have access to the final 2 floors now, which I have very little idea of what's awaiting there. Of course, there were the previews, but there's very much difference between just looking at a preview and actually fighting something. But you know what? Because my goal is ultimately to reach Eternal Harvest, I thought playing in more pain would create bad habits. So once again, we are going to try in good always wins, because Iratus deserves nothing less. I ain't scared of no ghost. So good always wins one of the harder difficulties, a mode for true necromancer. Necromancers even. Less starting resources, less battle rewards, overpowered enemies. Elite enemies regularly join normal battle. Enemies have a high chance to become inspired. Minions do not recover vigor out of battle, and Iratus doesn't recover any mana out of battle. And the graveyard efficiency is decreased. It is time once more to test our skills.
Life is a disease. A millennium ago, a Supreme Necromancer was on the verge of conquering the world. But you know what they say about best laid plans. Inevitably, heroes shall emerge. So, I was made dead again. But what does death really mean for somebody who has mastered it? Boredom. An eternity to ponder my errors and how close I came to victory. I am a mortal, but when this world ends, even I will know oblivion. And so, I ask myself, will I be given another chance to rise before it happens? Another chance to fulfill my ambition? It seems that fate has smiled after all.
I love that cinematic so much. It's so good. The person that voice acted Iratus, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Good job. Now, here we are in the beginning. As always, I believe that to have success, you must have a strong foundation, and we are going to go down the alchemy tree. If you aren't familiar with the talents, my strategy, my approach, besides my obsession with alchemy, my approach is to go down the tree and try to get the baseline buffs as soon as possible. Actually, we might be holding off on alchemy. No, we need this first.
Formulae reveal their secrets.
I love the architecture buff first, because more Digger Souls means you can build more things in the graveyard sooner. So I grabbed this first, and I think we're going to grab Amateur Surgeon next. But then we want to look for anything that gives baseline buffs to summon minions, for example, Durable Materials for +8 Vigor, or Luck Potion for additional luck. Although I will want to aim, where is it? YUB. Evasion's not bad, but I'm looking for, here it is, accuracy. +12 accuracy to all minions all the time. Mwah. Beautiful. Beauty to behold. So you might be wondering, can I build anything? I don't think I can. No. What are we going to do for our first group composition? How are we going to break the game? And honestly, I don't know. We could just bring out the A-team right away. But where's the fun in that? We know the A-team is going to work. So where's the fun in that? Well, there's a lot of fun in that. Maybe we do bring out the A-team.
The chill of the grave.
Well,
walking.
To be fair, the A-team requires some level up, right? Some level ups, right? For the Dark Knight, we need to convert this to debuffs. The Unfrozen is fine. Suspicious the Dark Knight that we're waiting on. Who else would we want? We probably need the Lost Soul for starting out, right? That seems like a given. That seems like a given to me. A ghoul would be nice. Ghouls are always excellent starting out characters just because they hit so hard. We could bring out a Lich. Lich are always fun. We have a skeleton. A bride. Maybe we don't use the Dark Knight yet. I'm trying to think of who we would even want in the front line then. Blood Phantasm? Me? The Blood Phantasm, we really just want Rage Injection, right? Do we do stress? The first floor doesn't really matter as far as...
You will learn to enjoy your wretched existence.
As far as, like... Well, let's just do this. Let's bring out the big guns. Oh, I need the shade. To her. You can't have the big guns without the shade, so I need... a dust. I do definitely want to bring out the ghoul again. They have... Did they change this? Converts 3 parts... Oh, they changed this around a little bit. Converts 3 parts the same type and rarity to new item. They made this 3 now, didn't they? They saw me gamble. They're like, we can't have him gambling like that. Ah, a pity. Oh well. What's the difference between 2 and 3, really? Besides 1. 1's the correct answer. Alright. This goes in over the Wraith, right? Correct? I think so. Of course, we have to have our fancy skins. And I do have some exciting news that I'm so happy with the Iratus devs. But before I get into that exciting news, let's read this, shall we? Lots of reading. The kingdom had need of the vast riches buried underneath the castle. Great veins of iron that promised to fuel conquest after conquest, along with ancient artifacts from a long-forgotten age. The dwarves were eager to offer their services in this project, bringing their untested mining equipment and experimental concoctions for the promise of wealth. They only needed bodies that could obey, and that the humans could provide. With dungeons filled to the brim with both criminals and rebels, there was no shortages of slaves to work these mines. Drugs were used to keep them docile as they dug ever deeper, year after year, unaware of the mortal danger that awaited them below. That's us. We are the mortal danger. So the exciting news, the day that they launched, well, which is yesterday now, they launched Iratus on the 23rd, and immediately made available on Steam their plans for the next DLC. Beautiful. It's beautiful. So, the first DLC for Iratus, Lord of the Dead.
Your frail bodies fail you.
Look at that damage. Is called Wrath of the Necromancer. It's beautiful. I'm probably just gonna have to steal that, honestly. But it's aiming for a fall 2020 release, which I mean, makes sense. It's not that ambitious. All things considered. Do you want to try and stress him out? I think so. Oh, I missed. Rip. And what it does, this new DLC, will add 2 new minions. Am I going in for the kill here? It will add 2 new minions, additional skins for all minions, I presume. They showed some of them off. They are awesome. New enemies, including ones that take up multiple spaces. You might be quite familiar with that if you are used to this type of format. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head that does that a lot, and I can't. Good job, Banshee. But anyway, so for example, they'd have just like a large enemy, or thick if you prefer that terminology, that would take up, for example, 2 spots here. So they'd be where the conscript and the miner is. This is incredibly helpful for certain compositions. You know, just doing things better. I forgot that goes through block. I'm glad it does, though. Goodbye. Ooh, you're gonna hurt me. Well, I'm not a fan of that. How much wrath do we have? 10. I have to shake off the rust. I haven't played Iratus in a hot minute. But, I'm trying my best. Anyway. Oh, we interrupt the stance. Nice. Less babbling, more about the DLC. There will be new bosses, including a final super boss. If the humans have a god, I imagine that's what it's going to be. Pray to whichever god you worship. It will not save you from Iratus. A new game ending with additional outro video and story content. Lovely. New items and artifacts. Additions to the alchemy system, including craftable battle potions, which anything else you can use in battle, sign me up. I'm excited. And more. I don't know what the more is, but we'll find out, I'm assuming, as it gets closer to fall 2020, which is like my birthday. My birthday's in fall 2020. Well, every fall, really, but you get the point.
Brave are an excellent source of fresh corpses.
So this is our A team, the team that I always pull out when things go awry. They are always... Whoopsie daisy. Oh, I can right-click you now. Oh. Cultist. Our A team that we always bring out whenever we're struggling, and always seem to win with. For some reason. Maybe it's because we're awesome. But, they aren't really working the way they're supposed to right now, which is kind of my fault. I brought them out too early. Too soon. You have resurrected me too soon.
Strength through pain.
Which one is it? Too soon, Major Domo? I think.
You know, if this keeps up, I'll be done purging the world ahead of schedule.
But anyway, we're only one level away from it actually functioning, so... Do we really need to wait? No. The answer is no. We're good. Go ahead and pop up that armor. Oh, they nerfed this. He used to gain much more than just +1. It probably needed to be nerfed. But don't... I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that. We do have a level 3 brain we can plop in somewhere, but... That's fine. I might as well hold this point, right? No, we want initiative. Remember the Unfrozen, his feature, if the initiative of the Unfrozen is higher than that of the target, deals an additional 5% damage for each point difference. So the Unfrozen is very good at double dipping scaling, so you can double dip from damage from initiative and from attack. Just a thing to keep in mind. We do now have enough Digger Souls to build something, and we're going to build the Obelisk to get
The obelisk
Mao.
is overflowing with souls. My continued campaign certainly provides it with no shortage of spirits to harvest.
Now, I think I saw this earlier, or the last time we tried Good Always Wins, and I think you begin with an item, a random artifact, if you're on More Pain or Cakewalk. But if you're on Good Always Wins or Eternal Harvest, well, you're on your own. Which makes sense, honestly.
I need nothing but my anger to purge this world.
So we are rushing, now that we have this, we're going to rush to the +12 accuracy. So we're picking up +3 attack for all allies, which isn't really helpful for this group, but you know, it helps. Then we're going to pick up a muck, and then we'll get this accuracy, and then we're probably going to go back to alchemy, I think. On the higher levels of difficulty, this would also be good. On the higher levels of difficulty, it is recommended to commit more to like magic and ire, because they help out a lot in situations that are a bit tricksy, we'll say. That's a good description of it. But I love alchemy. Ooh, a ghoul. A free ghoul. I take the free ghoul, right? You always take the free ghoul. Ghouls are awesome. The ghoul might even sit in for the Banshee. The Banshee doesn't need a level, right? She can go heal and we bring in the ghoul for funsies. Well, the Banshee's doing most of the stress damage. Meh. Like, I need... Okay. We'll hold the ghoul off, because I need the Unfrozen and the Dark Knight to hit rank 3 for them to actually be useful in this composition. Let's take a look at the map. I didn't do... Wow. Look at this. This map is huge. Alright, well, my favorite thing to do is to go after the Cultists. There are many events you can see on the map. If you aren't familiar with them, there are battles, which is what we just did. We fight something. The Fountain of Restoration will restore all the HP to the group that you select, or you can restore mana to Iratus. The Sacrificial Altar, you can sacrifice a minion and it will give a predetermined items. I think it's predetermined for each different creature, but I don't actually know that. Don't quote me on that. The Soul Spring will give you just a flat amount of Digger Souls so that you can build things in the graveyard. The Ancient Coffin, an ancient coffin filled with items. The chest has artifacts, which are things you use to empower Iratus, and the cultists have items specific for minions. So you definitely, whichever minions you bring, it will give you an item for that. If you don't bring minions, like say we kick out the Dark Knight for whatever reason, so it'll give the item for the Unfrozen, the Shade, the Banshee, and then it will give a random consumable item. Now, I'm looking at our group composition, and here we kind of need all of them. Except for the Banshee, I don't need her slipper. But the Dark Knight, the Shade, both of these are incredibly powerful items, and the Unfrozen's is just an infinitely, well, not infinite because it is capped, but it's a scaling item. And scaling items always good. So we're going to go with this Cultist. Oh, and there is the Steel, which you can use to either give experience to the minions that you bring with you or to Iratus. Can't forget the Steel. Okay. Man. I miss not having this active, but it's okay. We'll get there. We will get there. We'll just start chipping away at sanity. Get over here. No stamps for you. But stamps for the Shade. The beauty of the Banshee is not only that she attacks sanity quite well, but she also inflicts a lot of debuffs that increase your survivability, which is nice. And her Wrath ability is amazing and can stun things. We used it last time, but it's how it stuns the first 2 targets in the first 2 slots. I'm actually not a fan of its upgrade, which is weird, but its 2 upgrade paths are very bizarre to me. Like, one is either it will now affect all enemies, but it's like a 50-50 to stun, or is it 25%? And the other one, it increases the damage it does. Like, what? You're not using the Banshee for damage. Spoiler alert. Man, conscripts and their evasion. I've also been playing way too much Earth because I'm just holding down the right click button to make this go faster. Oh no, my Banshee. I should have more than enough Wrath now, though. Do we try the trap? The trap is good, I know that, but I think I need to stun, so. We don't actually have a whole lot of damage here, which is unfortunate. Hence why I was saying it might be too early for this group. Usually I whip this out like in the 3rd floor when I'm dying. That's usually when this sees the light of day.
Toss them in with the rest.
But hey, it's important to familiarize yourself with what we're going to be doing. I guess we can do this. Maybe it's too early for the Unfrozen. Like, I think if the Wraith was here, we'd be a lot more efficient here. Maybe. Worth considering, anyway. That was a beautiful hit. And now, we break this stance. It's all good fun. Their stance is not incredibly powerful, but it is important to remember that it is going to hurt. And I have an aversion to pain. I think most people do. Good connection.
In the world.
That was a little risky because we might not have connected with that attack, given that the converts have a lot of evasion, but we're fine. The world is fine. Well, the world of Iratus is fine.
A sad
say that.
display for mortal kind.
Fortunately, our Banshee is quite wounded. That is quite the risk you run with this group composition, because your Banshee's in the 2nd slot, so it's quite likely that she's going to get hit. Ice River. Now, the reason I picked up Ice River here is because it will deal damage to the first 3 slots instead of just the first 2. You can go the other way if you want to deal more damage, but the reason we're doing this is for the Dark Knight to do this. Each time enemy sees a debuff, that's what we want. We don't want buffs. That is a very different synergy that I am not yet prepared for. We're going to increase his dread because that is his stress de mahe. I'm actually quite curious in how much they nerfed his armor and resistance gain. Because it used to level up like, what, 2 or 3 at a time? It was quite a lot. Like I said, it probably was deserving of a nerf, but doesn't mean I don't get to complain about it. We probably want to increase... Let's go a little offensive here for some evasion. You can increase the armor and resistance of the Banshee, but usually she's better off evading. Sometimes. Oof, it costs 3 to upgrade the Shade's evasion. I like how the Shade can also increase his armor and resistance. And by like, I mean I find it bizarre. And hilarious. So, last time, I did try this Gloom Talons. And this makes it so that you can destroy all wards on an enemy. I didn't hate it. But every time I used it, I regretted not picking up Void Claws, which just deals more damage.
I expect results.
So we'll grab Void Claws. I guess next we'll upgrade the stance. I still, to this day, don't know if this reduces damage received from enemies by 10% as long as the Shade stance remains, if that's group-wide or just Shade-wide. Still don't know. But if it is group-wide, it's a lot better than I thought it was. Alright, it's probably time to stop putting points in accuracy and just wait for the, whatchamacallits. Free heal. Calculated. This is the steal that I mentioned that I didn't actually talk about until the very end. So we're gonna go here and then go to the left for the cultists. But then we have to decide. Quests are another event that I forgot about because I usually try to ignore them. Like, quests are a coin toss. They can either give you something really good or something really not good. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. Unfortunately, so if we go this way, we have to go through the quest. Get a chest though. Or we can go to the right here. Free minion, Digger Souls, Cultists. There are more Cultists this way. Okay. I'm kind of okay with the plan of just going towards more Cultists. The items that are class specific are very, very good for most characters. I am going to delay the Banshee's turn because I want to press this first. There is a stun on this floor, and it comes from this hunky. He's not very hunky. But, I think we're okay. That was not how I expected that interaction to go. But I'm okay with it. Oh, and I think he stuns as well. Oh, wait, no, that's the hunky, duh. Of course he stuns, because that's where I said stuns. Oh, it's beautiful. We've done it. We've won the game. Oh, just sit back. Relax. Let it play itself for me. Oh. How? Oh, yeah. It's all coming together. Now, it is a little cheesy of me, I will admit, to automatically break out the A-team. But, good always wins isn't a joke. Stuff gets very, very dangerous very quickly. There is an item that I'm looking for as well. That I made the mistake of destroying it in our beta testing, but it's something shackles where it makes it so that enemies can no longer flee from battle,
Savor these last
but
few heartbeats.
they can no longer become inspired. Which means whenever an enemy undergoes a sanity check, either by you forcing it or just by it happening naturally, they can instead become inspired at higher difficulties, which gives them a buff instead of a, you know. This trap is going to get a lot of value if I use Void Claws. Do I care? Not really. Ah! No, we're fine. Oh yes, trap him. I should break that. I should... Well, I mean, he's not going to move, right? So there's no reason for me to break it. He has 6 HP. He's dead. We've done it, team. I guess we should crowd control.
He dies so that you can live.
Iratus' voice actor is so good. I wonder who did it. I actually never looked that up. I should have. Oof. That's why Void Claws over Gloom Talons. Well, in my humble opinion. My not so humble opinion.
It would be this easy.
I made a guide going over all the creations. My opinion is a bit beyond humble now. Whether it should be or not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I am correct all the time. I'm just saying that I've kind of advanced beyond humility now. GG. Good job.
Soon this world will be mine.
Also, if you're playing on Good Always Wins or Eternal Harvest, there is a talent I recommend picking up soon. And that is this one, the Advanced Doctorate. Because you're going to find yourself with powerful teams, like, for example, our A team. And this will allow you to heal them without using the Mortuary. Because you can use the Alchemy thing over here, Distillation, to heal. You sacrifice 3 parts, or brains, to restore 10% vigor to all minions. But if you get the talent, it is now 20% vigor. You can see how that saves you a lot of parts. And of course, if you do go down the alchemy tree, if you commit like I like to commit, and you go all the way down here to necromancy power, whenever you use distillation, all minions deal 10% more damage and receive 10% less damage for 1 battle. So you're sacrificing 3 parts to be stronger by 10%. And I think that's a fair trade most of the time.
I embrace this fury.
But remember, we are heading towards advanced ballistics before we go down anything else. I'm kind of okay with grabbing haste and heading towards black incense before we commit to alchemy. Kind of. I don't know. I just like I like alchemy. So, I do like Accelerando, I think, here. Because Accelerando makes it so that the enemy loses evasion as well.
Back to battle.
So we get even more value out of every point of accuracy. Me likey. You could go the other way, however, and reduce their attack by 2 points further. Again, it's up to you, really. I don't care what you do. You can do what you want. I might even pop a distillation now. So what do we think is the most important? It has to be Shade, right? Shade or Dark Knight. The Ghoul item is also excellent. So let's take a quick peek. What do we think we need? Oh dear. So the Ghoul item, which is amazing, is that the Ghoul will begin combat with 1 stack of Lunch Break. This is... I talked about this item in like the video I did, the guide thing, but this gives the Ghoul so much stuff. It's like 20 Vigor, 12 Attack, 12 Evasion, 12 Crit. It's beautiful. But unfortunately, we're not really utilizing the Ghoul here. The Heart of Emptiness for the Dark Knight gives 5 mana and 5 Wrath restored each time the Dark Knight receives damage. I thought that did an HP as well, but that might not be true. The Void Flame, the Shade restores 25% of its attacks as Vigor, Mana, and Wrath for Iratus. This is so strong. Especially when you combo this with like more powerful spells, because you've seen the damage the Shade does. We did like 81 damage to the Taskmaster with the Void Talons. So you can just restore 25% of that as HP, Mana, and Wrath. We were using this to spam Finger of Death, which is like the ultimate magic ability. Oh, it's so good. But it's weaker here in the beginning, which is why I'm leaning towards the Rune of Winter. Ooh, it got buffed. At the start of each turn, the Unfrozen receives +1 initiative until the end of battle stacks up to 6 times. They used to say stack up to 5 times. Now this will make sure the Unfrozen goes sooner in the turn order, and it will give him more damage when he has more initiative than the enemy, which we're going to be removing using his own abilities. So I kind of already decided what I want. The Shade Flame is very powerful, and I do highly recommend picking it up, but it's more of a later stage thing, when you can like fuel infinite spells, sort of deal. Make sense? I hope so. We are going to build a Barbie. Yes, I know the sign is spelled incorrectly. Undertale. What am I missing for you? Oh, of course it's dust. It's probably just the way that I play, but I'm always missing dust.
Behold my work.
Behold my work. Now remember, when you do build something here, you sacrifice this minion to the Dark Gods.
Unfortunate that I need to rely on mortal knowledge to recover my powers. It's akin to trying to quell hunger with breadcrumbs.
Oof, feels bad. And I'm gonna pop the distillation here just to heal up a little bit. Back. Just a wee bit. We don't need all this stuff. Oh, it's 15%. Wait, does that make this 30%? Hold on. Oh, it does. It's even better than it was already good. Like, I used it so much when we were near the end of the previous playthrough. It was already good, and now it's better. Beautiful. I'm still gonna do it, though. Okay. Now, only the Dark Knight is wounded, but the Dark Knight can heal himself. Ooh, this is an easy battle as well. Nice. Actually, I think calculated is the term I was looking for there. Owie. So we can use the Dark Knight's Wrath ability to heal up. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm a little concerned about the Shade, or the Banshee taking more damage, but we should be okay. You're in the wrong spot, bro. I need him to be one step forward, so that he can Icy Flips, or whatever we picked. Look at that armor coming into play. It got nerfed and it's still so good.
Extinction of life.
Bye-bye. Oh, and I get to go 2 times in a row. My turn! Oh, I love this team. This team is so good. Wow, this takes 60 Wrath. That's a lot of Wrath. I was thinking about making a video breaking down this team and like the thought process behind it, but I might still do it, don't get me wrong. But I was a little afraid of making like a clickbait title, because I hate clickbait. Oh, it drives me insane. And
Born was your first mistake. Opposing me? Your last.
Ooh, betrayal. And calling it the ultimate Iratus group composition is kind of, sort of clickbaity. I mean, it is, really. I have never...
life vanishes from this world.
I have never not had success with this group. Even when you're fighting the Dwarven Berserkers, spoiler alert, and they get stronger for each insanity, each point of sanity they lose,
ends, your service begins.
This group composition still just powers through it. They don't care at all. It's still just that good. And you're level 4 brain now. Nice. I wonder if they increase brain drops rates, because I always go towards this to get even more. We need 1 more point. 1 more point. And we have accuracy. You can... Do we have any? We don't. You can sacrifice excess artifacts or consumables to get more experience for Iratus.
Finally, this item finds its way into my capable hands.
A real Philosopher's Stone in the hands of Iratus would be terrifying. In a good way. These are all kind of meh. There are a lot of items I would have liked to get here, and these are none of them. I guess Mutant Claw helps the most.
Amazing what they just leave lying around.
Like, I would never pick up a Mutant Claw in Cakewalk, or even in More Pain, but in Good Always Wins and Eternal Harvest, elites just show up randomly all the time for no reason. So it can be very helpful. So we have the Librarby, we have the Obelisk. We probably want Excavation next. I mean, or we could pick up this. Random artifacts can turn into experience for Iratus. Let's do that. That seems smartical. And then we'll build an excavation site.
The entity below seems to have developed an attachment to me. To lay eyes on its full form would be to invite madness, so I'm content to occasionally give it a pat on the tentacle.
Pat on the tentacle. So what do you think lives underneath the dead lake? If to simply gaze upon it would invite madness, it has to be like an eldritch abomination, right? Have you been a naughty boy, Iratus? Don't answer that question. We know the answer. It's yes. He's been a naughty boy. Oof. Again, that's really the only dangerous part about this build, is that your Banshee is vulnerable here in this slot. That's it. Everything else about this build is perfect. I love it all. But she's vulnerable here. It might even just be worth to hold parts to give her, like, block and ward. Don't you dare. You son of a... Alright, let's use some magic. I guess... might as well just do this. It's unfortunate that our stance was broken, but... what are you gonna do? Guess we get started. So close. I think they increased the wrath cost of this. I remember it being cheaper for some reason. Not a whole lot cheaper, just
my kind of entertainment.
Cheap enough. Why did he die? That wasn't a... excuse me, that wasn't a heart attack, was it? I don't think so. Time for some ultimate abilities. That is such a good ability. Winter is Close is so strong. Hopeless. We actually haven't triggered any inspiration yet. I was gonna say, watch, I just jinxed it, and now this Taskmaster is gonna become inspired. Whenever an enemy becomes inspired, it gives them a random buff, just like losing their mind gives them a random debuff. But it will also restore their sanity pool to full. So it is important to keep that in mind if you are doing a sanity build. How many debuffs do you have? You have a lot of debuffs. But I mean, you're also just dead, so... the Shade will see to that. Bye-bye. Imagine if we had the Shade item there. 25% of 98 is a lot.
You will soon embrace your new existence.
Boop. Aw, there's no enemies left for you to betray. How unfortunate. I'm curious, I never did the math for this, but Call of Winter increases all damage received. Does that apply to stress damage? My gut is telling me no. I mean, maybe.
Mine is the winning side.
Ooh. Vampire Fangs. Oh no. Am I going to be obligated to create Skeletor again? Oh no. Probably just grab initiative here for the Unfrozen, I think. I have 0 evasion. If something hits the Unfrozen, something hits it. I've just kind of accepted it at this point. For the Shade, probably want initiative. Him moving sooner is good. Especially with our current group composition. The Dark Knight, you also need some initiative, buddy. We're super fast. Fast like Sonic. Now, the Vampire Fangs, what it does is that you restore 15% of the damage dealt as Vigor. I'm pretty sure I tested this, and it's only damage. Like magical and physical damage. It's not stress damage. I'm 95% certain. Which is pretty certain, honestly. I'm fairly confident in that. It might be time for the Banshee to go heal. We do not want to lose her if we can help it. And we have our accuracy. Nice.
Rivers will run red.
So, the question becomes, do we want to go left or right? I don't really want to commit to this Cultist. There's the first elite we've seen. There's an elite battle. We could go this way to this Cultist. Double Cultist. Let's see what we pick up here. I think I'm inclined to go to the Double Cultist. Black Widow, Bone Golem, Vampire. Bone Golem, right? I mean, worst case scenario, the Bone Golem can sit in as a frontliner for like 1 or 2 fights. No big deal. NBD. What would I even level with you, though? I do like increasing his block buff. That's usually pretty good.
Now,
Right.
prove yourself worthy of my investment.
The Bone Golem is a really tanky character, and a lot of his abilities play off of HP and or missing HP, so it wouldn't be terrible to upgrade his Vigor. Some accuracy. So I mentioned Skeletor before, and the skeleton here performs incredibly well with the Vampire Fangs because with Smite the Show-Offs, you hit multiple times, of course, so you heal 15% of the damage you deal every single time you strike. It can be incredibly powerful and self-sustaining, but we're still missing the Witching Bone. I could pick that up, of course. Don't have enough souls for this. How do we want to do this? Do we want to bring the Dark Knight away as well? Like, just do a random composition to fight this? It's 2 Spearsmen and 2 Hunkies. I'm not that... Or is it 2 Converts? I'm not that afraid. We're going to just bring in a Wraith. Now, one of the things about this build that I really like, the ultimate build, as 'twere, is that it's incredibly versatile. The only thing that's really, really important to this group composition is the shade. You can do all sorts of things working around the shade. The Dark Knight's kind of a necessity as well. Kind of, but not really. Boom. Oh, it's beautiful. So let's see if this temporary switch helps out. The reason why I've swapped things around this way is because the Unfrozen operates decently in the second slot, whereas the Wraith does not, really. So, better swap them around. No big deal. Oh, it is 2 Converts. It's a little worse than 2 Hunkies. But not that much worse. So this composition really begins to chip away at the sanity, more so than debuffs. I mean, you can even lean farther into sanity and take out the Unfrozen and have both the Banshee and the Wraith. Like I said, it's quite flexible. I'm gonna have to heal them. That is something I'm gonna have to do. Okay, we'll heal this turn. No worries. Bye-bye. Ooh, 69. Nice.
More materials. Ooh, I didn't think it would be this easy.
It did unfortunately remove one person that I couldn't eat their souls anymore, but it's fine. Okay, who doesn't want initiative? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger, you. By the toe. The Wraith also does synergize well with the Unfrozen, because removing initiative means the Unfrozen does more damage. It's basic math, really. Owie, leave me alone. I'm definitely really glad, though, that I... I guess I just kill this, right? I am... Oh, you sod. I am really glad that I put the Banshee away.
One more
Because
for the stockpiles.
these spears probably would have killed her. So, good call on my behalf. If I'm allowed to applaud myself. You have 3 initiative. Now you have 0. Congratulations. You have fed our Wraith today. Really? Really? They just want to hit the Unfrozen. Fine. Hit the Unfrozen. It's beautiful. This went well. The Wraith is just about as good as I remember. Now, the only awkward thing is that in these situations, the Shade can't really do anything. I'd have to spend mana to make it so he could kill it. But let's just restore our mana to full. Smack. Ooh, I killed him through 14 armor.
Predictable outcome.
I did not expect that. At all, really. Our Banshee has healed up. So let's Aline. Let me show you what a pure sanity version of this looks like while our Unfrozen heals. Because it's nasty. If you like nothing but sanity damage, this is going to tickle your fancy. In an appropriate way. Not an inappropriate way. let us... I probably want that. There are a lot of good things I want, but I probably want to head towards this, right? Haste can be helpful.
Magic will shake the very foundations of this world.
It can also be incredibly helpful on this difficulty and higher to pick up Arcana Odds and Deluvia, just so you get some free mana. So you don't have to build the statue right away. I do recommend building the statue, but you may have noticed that I have other priorities in place first. Like most other things. Also, we probably want to build an arena sooner rather than later, because we're shuffling about characters to create this, to sustain our ultimate group composition. Ooh, hello, thank you. How generous. So we definitely need this. Alright, skeleton. Farewell.
How did these bodies wind up here, I wonder? Was there an effort to set me free sometime in the past? Regardless, these remains will be used as fuel for my growing army.
Oh. I need the Unfrozen back. The Unfrozen's weak, but I need him back. How do I want to do this? I want to get rid of you, right? Unfortunately. So, the reason why I just freaked out for a moment is because up here is... What is this called? Is this a gargoyle? Golem? Golem! Golem! No, that is immune to all stress damage. So... yeah.
Skeleton will clean up this mess later.
So we definitely need a way to kill this. It also has a ridiculous amount of armor, so the magic damage of the Unfrozen will help out a lot here. So my plan. I do have a plan.
Speed of thought.
Do I have a plan? Of course I have a plan. We need to kill this guy as soon as possible. So our plan involves building up enough wrath. We're either going to have to crowd control the giant thing, or Winter is coming it in the face. Because immune to stress attacks and ignition, doesn't escape, 50% chance to redirect an attack or debuff to the golem from an ally located behind it.
Give them no mercy.
No mercy. And we have to kill the the Mad Mage. Thanks, bro. That actually helps us. Oh, the Shade coming in hot. Now, the reason that reflection was so big was because he hit all of our friends. So the reflection was... accounting for all of that. We have Winter is coming. Ooh. We're working on it. We're getting there. We should be dead next turn-ish. We don't... Because we used the Wrath on that, which I don't think was a bad idea. He's sawed. Maybe I should just go after this then. Now I have a problem. Well, a concern, really. The Golem here has a very low chance to hit, but you saw that when he hits very hard. Oof. So it's like it's a coin toss. It's a 50-50 if you're about to die or not. So that's a thing. Do I just wait? Yeah, I think I delay here. I need the Shade Tance. Resistance absorbed. And that's why the Dark Knight is so strong. Especially early on, you just, like, negate most things. So how do I want to do this? I can either move back in position. Let's see if we can mess this guy up. He now has a 25% chance to hit, instead of a 50-50, which is a lot better by my counts. We might be able to give a heart attack to the Mad Mage. Good betrayal. 25%. Dodged. Clutch. We move so that I can Ice Flow here. Now the Mad Mage was able to resist it, but pretty sure This is dead now.
Death delivered.
Okay. We still need way more wrath before we can use this, which isn't really a part of the plan. Can try and kill this guy.
As worthless as you were in life, you will be worth something in death.
Something. 135. Oof, we did it. That was a tough battle. We got to see... Ooh, a bones. We got to see a lot of enemies that give me trouble. But I mean, we handled it pretty well, all things considered. The Banshee Dread. We could save our points here and put... Because plus 10 vigor is a lot of vigor. That could save her life. So I'm kind of inclined to just hold here. Remember, our big damage dealer is the Unfrozen and the Shade. The Banshee is here mostly just to apply debuffs, and the Dark Knight is here to kind of facilitate the tanking. So, we have the Unfrozen's seal. Is it time for the Shade? By the way, here is the second slipper. The Banshee restores 20% vigor each time an enemy misses attack against her. So this is an incredibly defensive item that kind of encourages you to dump points into evasion so that she can heal herself. I think I am going to pick it up eventually just because I never really got a chance to test it. I kind of dismissed it in the previous playthrough, but I don't think this is a high priority item. I think Void Flame is far more important to keep the Shade nice and healthy and give us infinite wrath and mana. I also do think the Heart of Emptiness is an amazing item because the Dark Knight, as you can see, is taking a ton of hits all of the time, and if he can restore our wrath, then he can heal himself more frequently. But I think I'm going to pick up the Void Flame first. Our next item, though, will probably be the Heart of Emptiness. Probably. And I do want the Abode of Wrath. This makes it so that we begin combat with 10 Wrath, which doesn't sound like much, but it adds up.
Hardly an inspiring leader, but irrelevant for the armies of undead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did this too soon. We don't get to hear Iratus' thoughts on the Abode of Wrath. Oh well. Ooh. This is an elite convict, a miner, a mad mage, and then a demolition expert. I think I can do this without healing. I don't really have the parts to heal, so let's just hope we can. Being able to heal here is going to be a big deal for...
Speed of thought.
Our Dark Knight. Oof, why are you so slow? Unfortunately, the Banshee and the Unfrozen do have to wait. Ooh, that was a good target. I don't know why you decided to hit him, but he'll just heal this up. Okay, that was 3 damage. We can deal with that. What's this debuff? Don't you dare. Okay. The Elite Hunky... Oh, I thought it was a convict. The Elite Hunky can stun, so if he stunned us out of our stance, so it's going to be tilted. Ah, minus 20% accuracy. All right. Let the debuffing begin. Now, the Demolition Expert is a bit terrifying. He has more sanity than I remembered. I need to heal. I can't not heal. I wanted to CC them,
Still be
but
enough left to reanimate.
the Demolition Expert, when he... Is it when he's insane? He will try to blow up. And that's no bueno. I'm going to pull him forward a little bit. Can I knock people back? No. Ooh, maybe I don't pull him forward then. The way that the wording is on his stance is that... of all the characters. The wording on his stance when he does do it is that it deals an absurd amount of damage to the next two leftmost characters. So if you have a way to push people back, then am I just doing mad damage here? Probably. This is 50. We don't have enough wrath then. So if you can push him back when he enters that stance, you push him all the way to the back, and then he'll blow up on his friends. Good fun. Now I get to heal for full. Thank you. Oh, it's beautiful. And that is why The Dark Knight is an excellent tank. Now, I'm probably just going to debuff here. Make him run out of sanity and reduce their attack and stuff.
Your cries are music to me.
Ma? Isn't that you? Huh. That was curious. It didn't do much. It looked way more threatening than it actually was. Don't move forward. Stay back. Heathen. Craven. I'm gonna have to move the Banshee. Ooh, good dodges though. Yeah, that is kind of a dangerous insanity. All remaining strength at the start of each turn loses 40% max vigor. He's gonna kill himself next turn, but then he'll gain an extra action. It can be incredibly dangerous depending on what you just triggered that on. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch the tiger by his toe.
Ashes
Bye.
to ashes, dust to dust.
Oh, I can't move. Unfortunate, really. I need to find a way to kill this thing quickly. I guess we're just going to debuff it into oblivion. Like this. I figured it out. Just crowd control him. He can't do anything, he's just crowd controlled into oblivion. Inflicts more damage. Lose your sanity. Get Gloom Clawed. An incredibly useful item to get on the, and crowd control him again. See, this infinite wrath cycle from the Shade is so strong. But a really good item to get for the Shade is the thing that gives you stacking crit chance, or stacking luck, excuse me. And if you're in the 3rd or 4th position, and his luck just climbs to the ceiling, and he can crit with Void Claws.
That will wash away your pathetic civilizations.
It is so good. It's saved me, I don't even know how many times. Countless times. Endless times. I had items I didn't equip.
It embellishes my undead features.
Are these all necklaces? Oh my goodness. Well, the Jar of Acid isn't bad. I just think that -4 armor and -4 resistance is too little to be useful. The Outdoor Fork, an additional part will drop after battle, is very helpful if you're, running low on parts. And of course, the Amulet of Power. Power's good.
It embellishes my undead features.
So I'm actually going to destroy the Jar of Acid. I think. Get that free level. Because that gives us 5 evasion. Or we could go here to Relic Seeker. Our options are limitless. Just kidding, they're not.
Spells, hexes, curses, all are at my command.
So I think what I'm going to do now... This isn't bad either, Blind Flurry. Blind Fury, even. There is a build. I don't know how good it is. It's probably really good under the right circumstances. But you see this tree here? This makes it so that if you have a certain amount of Wrath at the start of a minion's turn, they get some sort of effect. So the first one, if you have at least 25, that minion gains 2 initiative for 2 turns. If you have at least 50, that minion gains 4 dread for 1 turn. If you have at least 75, that minion restores 5 vigor at the start of turn. If you have at least 100, Iratus receives 36 spell power. So there is an idea here of just sitting on your Wrath and just having these passive bonuses cause huge problems. Like 36 spell power is a lot of spell power. How much spell power do we have at the moment? That is the incorrect button. 7. So that's like 3 times our spell power. It will do a lot for you. But I haven't really used it because, of course, I love using my Wrath to crowd control and to heal the Dark Knight. Our frontliner needs some healing, you know? The Mahe. More damage. As to the Shade, I think now I'm going to save this point. Because we want to start bumping his evasion. There is an idea with the Shade here where you pump up his evasion to make it so that enemies miss him. Obviously, not only does that help keep him safe, but that will trigger his feature, which causes him to attack for 120% of his attack damage back at the enemy that missed him. So once you have a lot of points in evasion, you go up here and start dumping points into attack, and he just kind of is like an auto turret. It is good fun, and I think we are going to try and work our way there eventually. Of course, crit luck, excuse me. I'm going to put the point there. Also incredibly helpful on the Shade, where you can just one-shot people for no reason, really. The Shade is so good. The Banshee. Weren't we saving this? We were. The Dark Knight. Good old Dark Knight. Now, I do love dumping points into the defenses, the mitigations here. I think I'm going to go ahead and up his Vigor. I've mentioned this in the guide video too, but there is some discussion online, and there has been for some time, that armor and resistance are okay, but you get more value out of just pumping up Vigor. I don't know how true that is, but I'm all for trying it. More HP is great. I love HP. So I'm not against it. My poor Unfrozen is a little wounded here, but I'm sure he'll be fine for next time. So thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the return of the Supreme Necromancer. By the way, they released some really cool artwork to celebrate the release of Iratus. It probably made its way into the thumbnail some way, shape, or form. But it's awesome. It's so good. Great. Well done. Just a round of applause for the Iratus developers. Thank you. I'm so glad that this game is out finally. I love it. And we're going to charge forward. Next time, we're probably going to be going straight down middle. Just run it down mid. Maybe to the right here to pick up this extra Cultists. Because what are we missing? If I want the Slipper and the Heart of Emptiness, we have to go to the right. So that's probably what I'm going to do. But we'll decide next time. Bye-bye.